Okay, let's talk about something huge. What if I told you that by 2026, the way pretty much every business on Earth sends and gets paid for invoices is going to completely change? And no, this isn't some far off prediction. It's happening right now, and it's being driven by governments all over the world. Today, we're going to break it down exactly what mandatory e-invoicing is and get to know the powerful network that's making it all possible.
Look, we all get it. Digital transactions are just easier. For years, it's been the smart and efficient way to do business. We've all gotten used to it. It's convenient. But what happens when that convenience is no longer a choice?
Seriously, think about that. What happens when governments step in and say, that's it? From now on, every single invoice between businesses has to be electronic and has to go through our approved system. Well, that changes the entire game. So, how did we get here? And what does this actually mean for your business? We're going to walk through it all. First, we'll look at the government mandates pushing this forward. Then we'll get into the tech that makes it work. We'll also tackle the tricky parts of staying compliant globally. And, most importantly, we'll give you a clear action plan so you can get ready. So you might be asking, why is this happening right now? And why so fast? Well, the simple answer is taxes. Yeah, governments are quickly figuring out that e-invoicing gives them incredible visibility into the economy, which helps them collect taxes much more efficiently.
To see this in action, you just have to look at the United Arab Emirates. They recently made some huge changes to their VAT law, and yup, you guessed it, it's all about requiring businesses to use a government e-invoicing system. This is a massive shift that's going to impact literally every company doing business there.
And they are not wasting any time. By the end of this year, 2024, we're expecting more details. Then, in 2025, a pilot program kicks off. And then, bam, by July 2026, it's mandatory for everyone. The clock is definitely ticking.
And trust me, they are serious about this. If businesses don't get on board in time, they're looking at what the law calls administrative penalties. We don't have the exact details yet, but in other places, this has meant huge fines, tax audits, or even getting your business license suspended. This has real teeth. And this isn't just a UAE thing. Not at all. We're seeing the same exact story play out all over the globe. Countries across Europe, like Belgium, France, and Germany, are rolling out similar mandates. Over in the Asia-Pacific region, Singapore and Malaysia are on the same path. This is a full-blown global movement.
Okay, so you have all these different countries with all these different systems, each with its own special rules. How on earth is a global business supposed to handle that mess? Well, that's where a network called PEPPOL comes in. The easiest way to think about PEPPOL is like a universal translator for business. It's this secure global network that lets all the thousands of different accounting software systems out there, from the little guy's accounting tool to a giant corporation's massive ERP, all speak the same language. It creates one common standard for invoices. So, because of PEPPOL, a company in France can send a perfectly compliant e-invoice to, say, a government office in Singapore, even if they're using totally different software. There's no custom coding, no complicated setup, it just works. But hold on, how does that business in France even know the agency in Singapore can receive a PEPPOL invoice? In a network that could have millions of businesses, how do you find anyone? This is where things get really clever. You know, the people who designed PEPPOL saw this exact problem coming. They even wrote in their own documents that in a network this big, it's pretty much impossible for organizations to find each other manually. You can't just guess someone's digital address, right? So what was their solution? Something brilliant and simple? The PEPPOL directory. Honestly, the best analogy is to think of it as the yellow pages for the entire digital economy. It's one central, searchable list of every single business on the network. So how does it work? It's actually pretty straightforward. Every business on the PEPPOL network gets what you could call a digital business card. It has basic info like their name, address, and, crucially, what kinds of electronic documents they can receive. That card gets published to the central directory. So when you want to send an invoice to a new customer, you just search for them in the directory. You'll know instantly if they're ready to go. Simple as that. So PEPPOL gives us the connection, which is great. But just being connected is only half the battle. For any international business, trying to navigate the maze of different rules in each country is a massive headache. This is what some experts call the jurisdictional compliance pitfall, and it's a huge risk. For instance, an e-invoice that's perfectly legal and compliant in Germany could get you in hot water in France, just because of some tiny difference in the data format. And those mistakes are expensive. They can lead to fines, audits, and your invoice is just getting flat out rejected. And this quote just says it all. Even between two countries that are right next to each other, like the Netherlands and Germany, the rules can be completely different. It's an absolute minefield for any business trying to expand across borders.
You know, a common business strategy is to expand into neighboring countries. The logic makes sense, right? The culture is similar, maybe you already know some people there. But here's the trap. When it comes to e-invoicing, being next door means nothing. You're still going to face totally different regulations on top of trying to break into a market that's probably already crowded. Okay, we've talked about the mandates, the network that connects everyone, and the real-world challenges. So let's wrap this up with what you can actually do about it. Here is your action plan. Here are 3 things you really need to be doing, like right now. First, you have to monitor the e-invoicing laws in every country you do business in. They change fast. Second, take a hard look at your own systems. Are your accounting and billing processes ready for this? And third, and this one is crucial, don't try to do this all by yourself. Get experts involved who can help you map everything out, train your people, and make sure you are 100% ready when those deadlines hit. And that really brings us to the bottom line. This whole thing isn't just about following new rules. It's about staying competitive. This global shift to digital invoicing is happening, whether we like it or not. Your partners, your customers, and yeah, your competitors, they are all getting ready for this. The only real question left is, are you?